Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Modi on behalf of OddsJam, and today's video will just be a preview of the Titans and Bengals game. This is the first game on Saturday at 4:30 Eastern Time, and it's going to be a good game. I'm very excited for this one. It's interesting. I would have expected the Bengals to be definitely to be underdogs, but I would have thought that the public and the public and the sharps would be all over the Bengals. It's actually been a little bit of the opposite, so not quite people loading the Titans, but if we look at the moneyline page I have here, looking at OddsJam, first things first before I get started, I just want to highlight how important it is to be signed up with as many sports books as possible. So definitely make sure to check out the links in the description here to sign up for all the sports books, because if I didn't have BetMGM, there'd be no plus EV play on the Bengals. So stuff like that. Just wanted to make sure I got that out there because it's incredibly important to line shop. But so looking at this game, Bengals going to the Titans. Titans somehow got the 1 seed in the AFC. I believe they ended up being like one of the worst rated 1 seeds in NFL history as far as like net rating, DVOA, stuff like that. But so the OddsJam Perfect line has the money line on the Bengals at plus 159, minus 177 for the Titans. And it actually does look like there is more value towards the Titans money line than it is the Bengals, which I thought was interesting. For me, I do think the Bengals win, but I am a little nervous just based on how there's more value towards the Titans. So money line is going to end up being a no touch for me. So now let's go to the spread and see what we got going on there. So it looks like right now the Bengals are about 3.5 point underdogs, which is interesting because when the lines opened, they were 2.5 point underdogs. So people have actually been betting more on the Titans, which I found interesting because I would have thought that more value or money would be going towards the Bengals as opposed towards the Titans. I thought people would be off the Titans because they're a terrible 1 seed when you consider all the 1 seeds. The Bengals coming off a hot streak. They beat the Raiders pretty convincingly despite the end score. They beat the Chiefs. They blew out the Ravens before that. Burrow's hot. So taking the Bengals spread is something that seems to be the most plus EV when you start getting some points towards the Bengals. So it's interesting. So like Titans -1, about 9 points plus EV. Titans -1.5, there's about 12 points. At -2, there's 10. There's 12 at 2.5, and then there's only 1 at 3. And I'm not really interested in taking any odds, -139, anything like that. But so at 3.5 and more points towards the Bengals, it's actually the opposite, where the value is going towards the Bengals. So at Bengals 3.5, there's about 1 point plus EV. There's about 6 points at +4, and the most 11 points at +4.5 at -120. So on BetMGM. So for this game, I actually really like the Bengals +4.5. Getting them that number over a field goal and still another point in case it ends up being a 4-point game where they need a touchdown to instead of a field goal to take the lead. It's going to end up being my play of the game. So I'm going to go ahead and put my $100 plus EV bet on the Bengals +4.5. Let me just sign in here, and I think that's a good bet. So looking at the actual football reasons for this bet, the Titans defense has kind of been hit or miss all year. They have some good players up front, but they really lack in the secondary. So my assumption is that this is going to be a game where the Bengals are going to lean heavily on Burrow. So one thing I am going to do after I place this $100 bet on the Bengals +4.5 is I'm going to check out Burrow passing props, see if there's any value there. So Bengals full game +4.5, -120. Perfect. That's going to be my $100 bet. Let's hope this actually is able to work. If not, I'll just place it on my phone and I'll post a screenshot. I sometimes have issues with my location. Nope, we're good to go. So there's my $100 bet. Bengals +4.5. I really wanted to put some on the money line, but the value just wasn't quite there. So I got an extra point and found the highest plus EV at 11 points difference. So That's going to be my first play. Now let's look at the total. Excuse me. So it looks like the total is settled around 47 and a half. It does look to be some consistent value on the over, starting at about 44 and a half. That's almost 20 points plus EV, but I'm not touching minus 143. 12 points at over 45, another 12 points at 45 and a half, and then it starts to decrease a little bit. 5 at 46, 3 at 46 and a half, 4 at the total of 47, and then 7 at 47 and a half. And then let's see, 4 points at 48, 3 points, 48 and a half, and looks like both the under and the over have some plus EV. But I actually do really like the over in this game. I like the under in the Raiders game against the Bengals, but I can see this being a game where the offense is able to put up some points both ways. I think that this is going to be so this game, the over-under started at about 46 and a half and it's been bet up to the 47 and a half you see here. And this is going to be a situation where I'm going to ride the money and I'm going to keep with the over. So I can see this being a game. I mean, Burrow put up 400 yards, 4+ touchdowns in 2 straight games, ending the regular season against the Ravens and the Chiefs. The Titans defense, I'm not confident in. I can see this being a huge game for the Burrow, the Bengals receivers, and all that stuff. I don't think it's going to be a running game, so I'm probably going to fade that, but I do think this is going to be a good game. And then on the Titans side, let's see, that one's on FanDuel, so I'm going to go ahead. That'll be a $50 play. Not quite a $100 mix slam, but still a play that I'm confident in. Let me log into FanDuel here. And on the Titans side, I already have an account. On the Titans side, getting A.J. Brown back healthy did wonders for them. His first game back, he was incredible. Julio Jones hopefully has something left in the tank. And then they're getting Henry back, which I think will be a huge boon for the offense. So I'm getting it at over 47 and a half at plus 100 odds. Alternate total points over 47 and a half plus 100, and that's going to be a $50 bet for me. So that's going to be my second bet for this game. First one being Bengals plus 4.5. That one's locked in. Good to go there. So now let's look at, so there's some player props I wanted to check out before looking at the plus EV page. And the first one is Burrow passing attempts. So looks like there is some value on Burrow over passing attempts. The OddsJam Perfect line has the over 35.5 at minus 150. I can get that on BetMGM and WinBet at minus 120. And I think that might be another mixed slam for me. But first I want to look at his stats and see. So I know at the beginning of the year, his passing attempts were kind of lower. It looks like he didn't go over 35.5 until week 5. And then, but since, they really started trusting him with the offense, 40 points against Cleveland, 40 points against the Chargers, 34, which was close against the Bengals, 46 against Baltimore, 39 against Kansas City. Only last week he only had 34, which I was surprised at. But I also thought he was going to have a lot more than 244 yards. But I don't think this is going to be a game where they're going to be able to lean on the run game in Joe Burrow. I think this is going to be a heavy passing game. Lean on the run game with Joe Mixon. I think this is going to be a good passing game for Burrow. So that's going to be another $100 mix slam for me. The Burrow over 35.5 passing attempts. And it might end up being a same game parlay for me. But I'm not quite. I want to wait for a little more of the plays to get posted before that. So that's going to be my third play of the game. Now I want to look. Let me make sure that actually. All right, we're good there. So that's my third play of the game. So now let me look at completions. I'm more confident in the attempts, but so it looks like okay. There's value on the Tannehill, but I don't really want to touch that. I'm not super confident one way or another in what Tannehill's passing is going to look like with getting King Henry back, even though he's going to have a plate in his foot. So that's all I wanted to look at for the stats. So now let's look at the plus EV plays and see what we got over here. So it looks like there's 5. The first one, Burrow is under passing touchdowns, not quite within market width. It's about 42 points of market width. I also, I feel the opposite where I'm riding Burrow over passing props. So this was going to end up being a no touch for me. Let's look at the second one. Passing attempts. Oh, that's actually I forgot to put that in. So that's funny. $100. That's funny. That was a plus EV play. So already, obviously, I like that one. Burrow, looks like Mixon over rushing yards is the next one. Like I said, I'm looking to fade the Bengals rushing. I think this is going to be a game where they pass a ton, so this is going to be a no touch for me. Next one, Tyler Boyd total receptions. I do like the minus 135 odds isn't great, but Tyler Boyd's actually been pretty good recently. He's kind of the possession receiver. So if you look at his stats, so what we get it at over 3.5. So recently, starting in week 13, he's done that in every game except for one where he had exactly 3. So I actually do like that one. I'm just going to go ahead and put what my calculator says to put on it. Looks like that's 35 on Caesars. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my card, making that my 4th bet. Let me just log in here. And then once I log in, place this bet, there'll be only one more player prop for me to look at. So while this is loading, let's look at the last one, see if that's worth it. Total points over 44.5. So I did take the over at 47.5, but I don't like it at minus 143. Honestly, the minus 135 with Boyd is probably the minus 140 is generally the worst I go, unless I'm doing a parlay. So maybe I will do a same game parlay with this over, but I'm not going to take it straight up. So this Tyler Boyd over 3.5 receptions will be my last play of the game. So I'm in. Let's go to football. I need to go to player props, and I need receptions. Tyler Boyd, and this is going to be a $35 play according to my calculator, and we're in. All right, so that's going to be my preview for the Bengals Titans game. Placed 4 total bets. I make sure I add this one, and then I can just kind of detail them at the end. So that's 4 bets that I placed. $100 mixed slam. I have 2 of those on Burrow over 35.5 passing attempts, and I have that on the Bengals plus 4.5. I also had a little bit, not a mixed slam, maybe a mini slam on the over 47.5, and I also took the over Tyler Boyd 3.5 receptions. As far as predictions go, just to get something out there, I do think the Bengals win. The value wasn't there for making that one of my official plays, but just to get a prediction out there, I do think the Bengals win. I'm just not bought. I'm not sold on this Titans team. I just don't think they quite have it, and I just love Joe Burrow, so I really hope he proves me right. Hope these picks go better than my wildcard weekend picks. That was tough, but that's all I got for you. So again, make sure to sign up at all the sports books in your state. The more sport books you have, the more chances you have of a plus EV play. Always bet plus EV, and make sure to follow me on Twitter. I'll post some of my bets on there at my handle below. You can see at Matt_Modi_bets. You can email me, Matthew@oddsjam.com, and you can also comment on the video. I'll definitely make sure to check that out as well. But other than that, that's all I got for you. So happy betting, happy watching, and good luck.